When Nigeria was good in the early 70s, what were the issues? The issues was that schools were good. Teachers were well trained, not part-time teachers that you just see on the street and you bring in. These are teachers that goes to school and then they are teach how to counsel. These are teachers that have been through real education. And as at that time, the most referred person in the society was a teacher, after a reverend. But today, the same teacher who, the young man was talking about environment. We have the physical environment in the building. We have the teachers around the environment. We have abused the teacher. The teacher is going to be the very poor woman in the society. She does not have a decent desk and office. And when she can't receive visitors in our schools because she's ashamed. She is poorly paid, would celebrate the politicians, or they are coming, we stand up. And then this same set of people, your children will spend about 8 to 12 hours with them every day. What does that teacher give to your child? I said that my father as a teacher will educate and give you. He corrects writing. When you write a letter back to him, he will correct it and return it to you. And then he will ask you, and when he's replying, he gives you back your letter photocopied for you to see the error. We can correct these children. Teachers are necessary. The environment with which we need to put them, right to education. Right to education. We leave them on the streets. We do not put them in school. And when we take them to school, we take them to schools that look like Abattoir. Very few governors, maybe in Lagos or Osun, are looking at the issue of, and maybe I think I heard about the governor in the East that built new schools. Oh, people are fighting them.
But when you talk about the building, what about the curriculum?
They will come to curriculum. If you teach the best of curriculum in a very, very poor environment, the education cycle will never be complete. Let me tell you, if you pick a child from the street, and you give him a bath, and you take him into an environment like this, give him 1 week, his attitude will change. He won't begin to throw stone anymore. He's conscious, he's curious, like the young man said. If you don't give a correct environment, even in teaching, there are schools where during the break you're talking about sexual abuse. There are no playgrounds. The child will waver and go to the back of the hall, throwing stones. Somebody would patch on the buttocks. But when he has an environment where he has his lilo, his things to climb, all of them are happy, the mental development is different. The curiosity, the mind is different. If you build a decent office for a teacher, a classroom where he sits, and he has all his equipment to teach, and he's dignified, his thinking and curiosity is different. He's like a computer, garbage in, garbage out. That's what we're getting.
Let me say about Ottobre, there's, we really have to go and some have to wind down. But the issue of protection brings to mind the killings of some of the Nigerian children that have been killed, unfortunately, in school. Recently, we heard of 2 bodies that were found in the ward beavers at Okbosi, I think in Ebonyi State or something. So we want the children in school, we want the parents to let them go to school, but then they're killed by whoever it is, Boniadi, Okbosi. These are just the ones we can mention here, but there have been others that have been killed by the school. How do we get the Nigerian child protected? Because apart from creating the environment, both physical and mental environment, the side of security is also really important. Some have even been kidnapped.
I mean, when the Chibok story came out that some girls had been kidnapped, I mean, we saw what the former Minister for Finance, what they wanted to do about protecting schools more. And I couldn't agree less. It's important that we just don't build these schools, but we can have police posts in our schools. I mean, we live in a time where we have more security threat compared to the way things were before. So beyond just building the schools and making sure that the environments are, I mean, you know, they're okay, we have better curriculum and whatever, I would suggest and recommend that we have security posts in our schools, just, I mean, as a way to protect our schools. Just the same way we have security posts in our government offices. Why don't we have in our schools too? Because, okay, so today we're building barricades in our houses, in front of our houses, because we don't want people running through with bombs. and then you have a school and it's just like that. You can't find a police presence in our schools. I mean, it just shows how wrong our priorities are as a nation. So whoever is listening to this, I'm saying that if children are being killed in schools and parents can no longer trust the fact that they can send their children to school, I'm saying that we can get more policemen to be in our schools. If we have the mentality that, okay, we have policemen in our schools, our children will feel safer.
Okay.
Yeah, let me quickly in closing ask Dr. Oyedeji that Oyedeji, yes. Ben Aripo on Twitter is saying something about children who are living with disabilities, how they are left out of all of this that we're talking about. They are prone to abuse, they don't get the right education that they need. How can they be included in all of this?
Well, let me quickly include this, that the problem we have that the government must have a compelling desire to get involved. In where we brought child rights hard in developed countries, take for instance UK, every child has dual parentage. The government is one, and the father is two. In fact, the government is the first parent. Right from the back, they start taking care of that child, monitoring, giving money for this, for that. So the father is just the backup. So, and they watch how the father manages that child. So there's dual parentage. And you see, the budget in UK today, between 27 and 30% for social welfare of the total budget, 20 to 30%. So it's a priority. So this country should also make social welfare fund a priority. Then they will solve many problems. Those children with disabilities will have government parenting. Right from birth. Even they will do everything for them, because even the normal children develop, the government parents them, and father just back. In fact, they are able to take away that child from the father.
All right.
Any means or if you misbehave, they take that child away and they depossess him. And if you could begin the implementation of child rights law and their family court, they will arrest you if your child doesn't go to school. They go to family court will jail you. If you beat your child and hold your child, family court will jail you. But because they have not implemented the act, that's why we are still where we are.
Okay. Professor Oyawe,
yes,
in winding down, please just talk about, in very short sentences, children with learning disorders being left behind and flogging of children.
Yeah, the children with learning disabilities, we have them. All you need is a special atmosphere to teach them. We have the ones with Down syndromes, we have the one with all sorts of syndromes. You just need special care and special teacher who are trained to teach them. There are methodologies. There's a way you live their things and they can learn. They can learn to become somebody. Then secondly, I want to also let us know that it is possible, with what he said, to use civil defense in our schools. Any form of security will do. It doesn't have to be police. Police can be, points can be ahead, somewhere close by, but the civil defense can be used within the school. I've seen that practice in Ocean. Then you said I should talk about lastly
Discipline.
No, the discipline. You don't need to really beat before you discipline.
Okay.
You can advise. Of course, there's a point at which a child must be afraid when he has gone to the extreme. There are many ways to punish, like there are many ways to teach, 8 ways to teach. If a child has not done something right, and you quickly ask him to come out into the front of the class among his mates, and make him sit somewhere else. You're making noise. Can you just come and sit here?
Thank you.
There are ways you can do it without flogging.
God bless.
And you will know.
Quickly, in closing, unless and until all political office holders have their children in public schools, it won't get better.
I couldn't agree less.
Yes.
I couldn't agree less, because just so they know, the number of children that are out of school in Nigeria is bigger than Libya and Liberia put together. If this government wants to make a difference, go back to primary education, build more schools, and these schools should have swimming pool, basketball court. I'm telling them now. Basketball court.
They should provide chairs.
If they really are interested in building this nation, that is the only way they can do it. And we will become the best in Olympics tomorrow. I think.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Bukola Oyawe at Adeleke University at Osun State, Governor Otubere Child's Right Advocate, and Dr. Gabriel Oyediji, Secretary of Homes and Orphanages of Nigeria. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sunrise will be back in a moment. Please don't go away.